Welcome back at 8:23. We're following some breaking news this morning. ESPN's Adam Schefter tweeting that the Saints plan to interview former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores. You can see his tweet here. Schefter says Flores is a finalist also for the New York Giants head coaching job, per a source. The Giants should decide this weekend their pick for a head coach. Well, on the road to the Super Bowl, the NFL is down to its final four teams. This weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs will go up against the fighting Joe Burrows of Cincinnati in the AFC Championship, and it'll be the 49ers and the Rams duking it out for the NFC title. We don't care about them as much, but the Athletics' Larry Holder joins us with some insight onto what we can expect. We're going to talk about this Joe Burrow game that everyone's hyped up for down here. But first, let's hit that Brian Flores tweet. I mean, what do you make of that with the Saints bringing him in for an interview?
I assumed he would be a candidate. I mean, he's a viable candidate. He's had actually a good run in Miami, and they had some philosophical differences, and the Dolphins moved on. A lot of people think that was actually a foolish move. So the candidates right now, Dennis Allen, Brian Flores, Buccaneers offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich, and then Aaron Glenn, who used to be a DB's coach with the Saints. Now he's a defensive coordinator with the Lions. I still think it's Dennis Allen's job to lose, but there's no doubt Flores is a viable candidate. All four are viable candidates for this job.
Yeah, Flores is a guy that gets his players to play for him. Pretty exciting coach there, but we could know more, if the Giants tap him for their head job. Let's move on to the teams that are still in the playoffs here, and this Bengals Chiefs matchup. They had a matchup late in the season. Joe Burrow won that one, playing again at Arrowhead Stadium, which is a treacherous stadium to play in. But I mean, what do you make? Do you think Jamar Chase, who has at one point was not good enough to be a wide receiver? Les Miles said that. You think he's got what it takes to lead them to a victory?
Yeah, look, 446 yards, 4 touchdowns for Joe Burrow in that game. They were down 28-14 and had to storm back, and they won 34-31 right at the buzzer. And Jamar Chase had a huge game, and this has been a storyline this week about Jamar Chase and Les Miles. I wrote a story about this a couple years ago, and it's hilarious. Les Miles had Jamar Chase in to at an LSU football camp, and then said, I don't know if you're a wide receiver. Go do some defensive back drills. And then Jamar goes up and tries to do it, and he just says, no, I'm not doing it. They try to leave. Then the coach just says, all right, come back and do some wide receiver drills. And then Les Miles says, oh, maybe you're a wide receiver, but we'll keep an eye on you, and did not offer him a scholarship then. And Jamar told his dad that he would never go back to LSU again. Les gets fired. Coach O comes in, and then Coach O kind of sweeps in and saves the day, and history shows that Jamar was right.
Oh, yeah. Jamar, Rummel kid, knew what he was doing, and he clearly knows what he's doing here. I was reading something. He's the only rookie in the NFL to have 2 100-plus receiving games in the playoffs. So that's potentially what it'll take in these hot-fire offenses to beat the Chiefs, you think, huh?
No doubt. Look, this is going to be a high-flying game. I think even though the Bengals, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times last week. I don't know if the Bengals are going to give up that many, but I do think, as we saw last week, Chiefs are high-flying. The Bengals need to be high-flying. The last matchup was high-flying, so I expect an exciting game.
All right, and then the second playoff round here, man, we hate them both, right? The Rams, the 49ers, they've all done us dirty in some way or another. Who should we be rooting for in this one? What's your take on it? Is there a favorite?
Just root for a tie, and maybe whoever wins the AFC wins the Super Bowl by default. Yeah, that's not possible, but I get it. But look, the 49ers, they barely got into the playoffs, but they've beaten the Rams twice. And even though the Rams are going to be hosting, I'm sure 49er fan will be all over that stadium in Los Angeles. So even though the Rams might be quote-unquote favored, look, the 49ers have as good a shot to beat the Rams as anyone.
Well, and then, two things. You kind of want the Rams to get a little payback for not beating the 49ers in that final game. You don't necessarily want the Rams to go into what some would call a home stadium advantage, even though some may argue against, their fanship there in L.A. But, it's going to be interesting, and I think everyone down here in Louisiana is just saying, who dat for the fighting Joe Burrows. So I know I am.
I don't know if they're going to say who day, even though that's the battle cry.
I don't even consider that word. Yeah. Who dat's only.
Sean Payton doesn't even do that either, even in his going-away press conference. He says he's pulling for the Bengals, but he's still not going to say who day.
I like that. He's a man of the people. All right, thank you so much, Larry. We certainly appreciate it.
You got it, Rob. Good talking to you, buddy.